Boom, ever onward tribe, May Commander's Coffee. I might have mentioned, maybe a month or two, maybe in March, I was back at Syracuse getting some time in with the lacrosse team, my alma mater that I played for, and have stayed with them kind of through the season as they're working their way towards, getting back to championship weekend. They're in the playoffs. They played beautifully in a game. The games needed to kind of get into the NCAA tournament, which is exciting. But I've had a great dialogue going back and forth with their captains, their leaders on the team, and talking about, their play, how they think about their opponents, and kind of prepping for games. And one thing that came up in a recent conversation with them is they talked about, one of the captains asked me, this team we're playing, exhibited behavior that they didn't, kind of like, and they asked my opinion on it. I said, when I was on the battlefield, I tried to divine and understand our enemy and how they thought about things. And I think there's utility in that, but there's also a level that in the end, it kind of came down to our preparation, what the mindset, focus, drive, commitment was of my teammates and how we looked at the battlefield that would make more of a difference as to perfectly understanding our enemy. A thing I highlighted with them that I think is both showing itself in their play, and then one of the reasons we did so well on the battlefield, is I had a conversation at a kind of campfire event where we were talking in a circle with very, very bright people, very well informed, a lot of different backgrounds and opinions, and certainly kind of mindsets. But one journalist actually asked me why I thought SEALs and special operations operators have done so well in this modern battlefield in a very dynamic and challenging landscape. And I said, really in the end, when our teams performed to the highest level, it was when they were at play, And I think he thought I was kidding. And I said, I'm not kidding. I mean, we had so prepared, built our skill set, built our abilities to master the kind of dark arts of war, that once we got there and were ready to execute and do the job, it became art. It became fluid. We were able to play and move and do things well in a very, very horrific and tough set of environments. And when I watch my alma mater right now play, that's what they're doing. They're having fun. They're enjoying it. The work's been done. Now it's time to just let it rip, let go, enjoy each other, and play the game. As we roll into spring in a time where things are anew and we get to get out on adventures and do new things and enjoy, make sure what you're doing has plenty of play in it. If you can find that in your work, in the way you run your family, in the way you run a team, stand by for how much fun you're going to have. Be at play. Ever onward.